A lot of the assets in Gamma 42 were modified from earlier projects, like the never-made space lasers, as well as Omega 35, a film we made in college that takes place in the same universe as Gamma 42.
We were collecting bits and pieces of plastic trash for many years to build model ships and to dress full-scale sets. Just before we shot the trailer, James and Emily had their kitchen redone, so some of the pieces from the old appliances were used.
Cut the act. No one forced you to run guns.
There was a label on this that said it came from either like Los Angeles County Public Schools or something. Oh, it says County of Los Angeles on it.
The models were built with a cardboard base and then covered with sheets of styrene that were detailed out. We then added a ton of dirt and grime with the paint job. We shot some of them on a dolly, taking photos along a track every few inches to maintain a constant speed, but the majority ended up being projection mapped. There were some digital elements that were composited onto them as well, such as engines and lights.
Or do I even need to take the tape off? I'll just rotate this. Why do we need to take the tape off?
For the projection mapping, we were able to do complex moves that could be manipulated in 3D space. We could roll and tilt the ships however we wanted. Projection mapping was also used to add camera moves to some of the flat images of locations.
Door.
We really used whatever elements we could find to put together the backgrounds for these environments. We even used Lego bricks to build one of the cockpits.
Alright, is that fine?
Mm-hmm.
All of this had digital work that was done on top of it, sometimes cleaning up edges or cloning sections, and always adding a ton of dirt and texture.
Every time you touch it, there's more fucking shavings of clay that come off.
The intent is to not have a single cloned element.
We did have some elements that were entirely computer generated, but we tried to hide them as much as we could, usually keeping them in motion blur or out of focus.
Rolling.
And go.
There are a lot of images of normal, earthly, industrial stuff that we put together and modified to create these environments. That got combined with many layers of smoke and dust stock footage, some model elements, some CG elements, and lights from the Los Angeles skyline.
Felt a drop, I thought. Oh shit, I just felt one too.
One of the most fun things to do when working with the 1980s sci-fi look is to have shots of CRT display screens. We had shot some refreshing CRTs a few years ago and were able to use that footage as an overlay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
This project was developed as a web series before we ultimately settled on making just a trailer. So there were a bunch of shots that did not end up being used. Some of these were simple screen inserts or alternate backgrounds. But we did work on shots for a shootout in a club, as well as the bounty hunter assassinating someone in their home. Ultimately, we had to rework a lot of elements in order to accommodate the structure and pace of the trailer.
Attention unidentified vessel. This is a restricted area. Reverse course or you will be fired upon.
They're hailing us, sir.
Black them out.
General Kreml. He's a radical from the Silesian insurrection. His group has been raiding our chemical weapons caches on the border. He's got a lot of scores to settle from the war.
One man with a vendetta is a minor concern. The resistance in the Gamma sector is a much larger threat.
I get paid to do the job.
I believe in lost causes.
Cut the act. No one forced you to run guns.
Just tell those rebels to pay us, so we can get the hell off this rock.
Given his last reported position, Kreml is already on the other side of the neutral zone by now.
Breaching the DMZ is out of the question. We cannot risk all-out war.
Not with a military operation, but there may be other means of infiltration. Your crimes are enough to put you on a penal colony for the rest of your lives. Not to mention death sentences with 2 local governments.
Forgot about those.
What about him? Does he ever talk?
Watch it, Junior. If you accept this mission, you will be offered full pardons. The bounty hunter will lead your team. Your objective is to stop Kreml at all costs.
You burned that goddamn colony to the ground!
If your resistance had that kind of strength,
they might actually win.
3 marks, incoming.
Slide them up.
The war never ended for me. I told you not to get in my way.